installment in the Know series. This one's going to be a really important one. They're all important, but this one's going to be especially important because it's about community building. And if you've not got your own community now, now is the time to do it. So we're going to talk about how to start and build your own community. So I'm going to, we're going to make sure that everyone's able to hear, so I'm going to mute all the backgrounds, and that way everybody will be able to hear. So, all right, so sorry about that. We're doing some technical things here to make sure that everyone's able to hear. So definitely chat with us if you've got questions. Chat with us in the box. If you've got points that you want to make or anything like that, just definitely feel free to leave a question, let us know. And then we're going to stop for questions that are pertinent. So if you've got a good, relevant question, we'll go ahead and pause and take that question. Otherwise, we're going to do a full Q&A at the end. So how to start your own group community. One of the most important things that you want to start with is strategy. So you have to, before you start the group and build the group and do all of that, it all comes back to strategy. It always comes back to strategy. So here's what I recommend, and we'll go through actually how to build the group. But before you even do that, know who your target audience is. Who is it that you're trying to reach? Is it, you know, we can throw out some examples here, but if you're a business owner and you sell telephone systems to companies, who is that target audience? Are they the CEO? Are they business owners of smaller companies? Is it chief technical officers? Is it CIOs, chief information officers? Who's your target audience? So the same thing for you. If you're going to build a community of prospects, you got to know who your audience is. You got to start with that strategy. So here's a couple of questions. What kind of members do you want? If I'm a prospect for you, who am I? How old am I? What part of the country do I live in? You know, what buying decision level do I have? And just, you know, who do you want your members to be? So I would make sure that you answer those questions. The theme of the group, that's another one that you want to make sure that you know before you build it, is what's the theme going to be? Who's your ideal prospects that would be interested in the group just by the name? And then who do you not want to attract? So let me show you, for example, this is our group, and we'll just show you ours for an example. The group name is not our company name. So our company name is Growth Strategies, and then we also have a DBA of LinkedInsites.com. So you don't want to have your company name be your group name, because your company name, you know, is under, you know, you may have seen this before, but you can have your profile and you can have your company, and then you can have groups. So you want to make sure that your company is in your company profile, and then the group is in your group profile. So, for instance, we wanted leaders. We wanted business leaders. We wanted people who were interested in social media. And we wanted people who wanted to be better at social media, wanted to know social media. So that was our criteria. We wanted business people, business leaders. We wanted to be around social media. That was our theme. And we wanted people who wanted to know it better. So that was kind of our three criteria. That's where we came up with the name Social Media Mastery for Business Leaders. So make sure that you clarify that when you're trying to build the strategy for your group. The other question there was, who do you not want to attract, by the way. So by the way, when we're talking about who do you not want to attract, you know, we don't want other social media professionals necessarily in our group, even though we do allow them. So think about this. When you're naming your group and you're building your group, you don't want to attract your competition. So when you're coming up with a name, make sure it's a name for your target and not something very general where all of your competition would want to join your group. So something to think about. Make sure the group logo reflects your theme. That was something, again, that we have on ours. We wanted to make sure that the logo did reflect. That was the logo there that we chose. Something that just reflects, the group. So let's start off with how do you actually build the group? How do you actually start the group? So when you go to, I've got a few screens open here just to keep things simpler. So when you go log into your LinkedIn, underneath interests, you've got groups. You'll click on groups, and then that will take you to a page here that will show you all of your groups. Can't get any simpler than this, because right there at the bottom of the page is to create a group. So this is actually what you click on to create a group. It doesn't get much simpler than that. So I highly recommend opening up a Word doc first before you build your group, because that would kind of help you lay out your strategy, help you lay out who the target needs to be, because what you're going to need to know is what your group name is going to be, what your summary is going to be, what your description for your group is going to be, and we'll give you a bunch of pointers on that, obviously. The website that is linked to your company, and things like that. So we found it very difficult to just try to think about it on the fly and type it in on the fly, because then it just doesn't look very professional. But if you actually open up a Word document and say, all right, let me think out my description, that has worked out best. So I would encourage you to go ahead and open up a Word doc. And one of the things that you're going to need to come up with is the group description. So this is ours. And let me give you a couple of tips on the group description. One thing is you want to use keywords that would be attractive for the audience that you're trying to reach. That seems obvious, but it's amazing how many people don't do that. So you want to think from the prospect's shoes, around the description of your group. So some of the things we were looking for as keywords was social media. Some of the other words we were looking for, so we got social media there, we got social media there. We wanted to have executives, small business owners, career professionals, so that was something that we put in there as well. Talking about ROI, we wanted to make sure that that word was in there, because these are searchable terms and searchable words that LinkedIn uses, because when someone is searching for a group similar to yours, you want LinkedIn to say, oh, well, here's Robert's group, here's Sally's group. You want to be one of those recommended, suggested groups. And how does LinkedIn do that? Part of it is through your group description. That's one reason. The other reason is you want people who are going to be searching for groups on their own, you want them to find your group. So make sure that the words that you use in the description are relevant and what you're looking for. We wanted to make sure that we even have the word LinkedIn group in there as well. And forum, so a lot of the words that are in here are very specific. So if it helps you, what we do is we just collect a whole bunch of words that we want to make sure are in the description. Just lay them out, line them out, write them out, and then once you've done that, then you can formulate it into 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 different paragraphs. So that's going to be the easiest way for you to do that. And then your summary, just a quick, short 2 paragraphs on what the group is about. And I always let people know that you can say things like, this is an open forum for discussion. That's a good thing to say. You can say things like looking to collaborate with other industry professionals. That could be something you could use. Gosh, what are some other things we say? We write so many of these things. Something to the effect of that it's a community, that it's for like-minded, whatever, like-minded business professionals, like-minded business owners. If you're a caterer, you could say, for like-minded, events, planners, things like that. So So main thing is just make sure that the wording is correct. Obviously, you can go in there and edit it, anytime you want to down the road. But most of the times, people forget. Once you write your description and you're building your group and you're moving on, you've kind of forgotten about the description. So make sure that it's good from the get-go. A couple of things here, and again, this is that page that you're going to go to start and build your group. Excuse me, I'm still getting over whatever it was, a cold or something. So you can actually link it to Twitter. So I would highly recommend that you've got a Twitter that is relevant for your group as well. The rest is really self-explanatory. I'm not going to spend any more time on that. You got to check the agreement, and you want to create it as an open group. There's two ways to do this. You can do an open group, or you can do a members-only group. An open group allows members to share posts. Let me see if I can maybe give you an example here. So let's say you've got, a woman plus geek. That looks interesting. So let's say you've got, how to synergize marketing and PR in your business. The great thing about having an open group versus a member-only group is LinkedIn will allow you and anyone, all of your members, the opportunity to have an external link for every single discussion that's posted. So this could be the reason that you want to have a closed group. You might not want everyone to have an external link for every discussion that gets posted. For most intents and purposes in building a community building group, you want it to be promoted, you want it to be shared, you want other people outside of LinkedIn to find out about it, and things like that. So one of the benefits of doing an open group is anyone and anybody in the group can hit this little share link at the bottom of the of every discussion, and then a little unique URL link is used. So one of the creative things you can do around that, if you've got an email list, if you've got a database that you push an email out to your group once a month or whatever, and I'm not talking about your LinkedIn group, I'm talking about an email list. Maybe you want to point people from your email list to your LinkedIn group via a specific discussion. So maybe in your email newsletter, you say, hey, we've got a discussion happening. The discussion is, how do you synergize marketing and PR in your business? And then you put that little link right there, and now you're pointing people to your group via your email list or your website. We have clients where we engage people from their website using a link and point people back to a specific discussion inside of their group. So that's, let me make sure what tab was that. So that's one of the differences of an open group. The other thing is, if it's a closed group, members-only group, it's not going to be promoted by LinkedIn, and most of the times you will want to have it be promoted. So I would highly recommend it being an open group, unless you've got some kind of a private closed group thing that you've got going on. So we've got a question. How many groups should I run? By Bethany. So Bethany, how many groups should you run? The question would be, how many groups can you handle? Most people have enough of a struggle running one group. So I recommend one, unless you've got a team of people, like with our company, where you can have multiple groups. We have 4 groups. God forbid I try to run 4 groups by myself, that wouldn't happen. But because I have help, I can run 4 groups. So start off with one, and maybe have a group for your prospects to attract prospects. Shortly down the road, I recommend having a second group that attracts partners, joint venture partner relationships. So one of the questions you can ask yourself for that second group to start would be, who in my sphere of influence can easily refer me, and it makes sense for them to refer me. Maybe I'm a caterer, and other people are event planners, or they work in a hotel and they work in the event planning. So maybe I want to start a group, since I'm a caterer in this hypothetical situation, Maybe I want to start a group for event planners and try to draw event planners into my world. So that would be a second group I might want to start because they're more joint venture partner relationships. So that's a good question. All right, so create a 2-paragraph summary. We talked about that. Create a detailed description in advance. That's what I'm talking about by doing it in a Word doc. Make it welcoming, engaging, descriptive about the group, but short to the point. You don't want to go on and on and on with a description. So here's a couple of things that you'll want to change once you've created your group. LinkedIn makes it really simple for you in a lot of ways, but you want to change some of the templates that they provide for you. Here's 4 of them right here. One is the request to join message. The second is the welcome message. The third is the decline message. And then the fourth is the decline and block message. So let me back up a second. Where do you get to this? So once you've built your group and your group is created, you decide to make it an open group, the group is now live and it's ready to roll. So these templates are underneath Manage. So inside of your group, you're going to have this little header bar right here of these different links here. So under Manage, you'll click that, and then towards the bottom, you'll see Templates. And you'll click on Templates, and that will take you to this page. So why are the templates important to change? The templates that LinkedIn gives you, what we'll show you here, it's basically just going to be a very generic welcome message. So how great is this? When everyone requests to join your group, you don't have to do anything. It'd be a terrible extra step for you to have to send an email out to every single person who wants to join your group. We get about, I don't know, maybe 50 requests a day to join our group, which is great. So I would hate to have to send 50 individual messages to people requesting to join our group. So this is a great feature. You just want to change the message. So in our message, we changed it to your request to join Social Media Mastery for Business Leaders. Thank you for requesting to join one of the fastest growing social media forums on LinkedIn. We look forward to reviewing your profile for acceptance. And we basically put that in there. Put it back at the top so you can see it. And you're welcome to steal some of this too if you want to. We're going to review your profile for acceptance. This is a request to join group. This isn't a group where anybody and everybody and their brother-in-law can join. There's a gatekeeper. So the gatekeeper is going to be you if it's your group. So reviews are generally handled within 24 to 72 hours. You'll get a confirmation when approved. You receive a confirmation approved. This is a fun and interactive forum for posting ideas, questions, resources, and events that will help entrepreneurs, executives, and career professionals in their pursuit to use social media correctly. So that's a little bit of a, here's the value to that, thank you for requesting to join our group. Here's the reason why it's a smart idea that you're going to join our group. And then you always want to tell them what to do. Give me something to do. I've just requested to join your group, so tell me what to do. The call to action, if you will. So we have, we request, let's see, in the meantime, connect with our Twitter community. So this is our Twitter group. So we tell them to join our Twitter following. And we get a lot of people to follow just because of that. And then I also have the website in my signature, just at the bottom there. So the other one, I'm just going to talk about the other one real quick, because I really recommend you change the request to join message, and I recommend that you change the welcome message. And let's see, I'll show you that one real quick. And the decline message and the decline and block message, we don't spend too much time with that because what you can do is you can change it to where if you decline somebody, you can say why, but it's going to be a template. So we just don't really ever mess with that. So we give a little welcome. It's about 4 or 5 paragraphs. I give a little reminder of what the group is about, you can basically copy and paste this group description and then paste it back in here as part of the message, because you want people to know what the group is about. So we have some important notes. Let me go back up here. What we're about, how to use the group, things like that. And then again, you want to give them a call to action. Tell them to do something. What do you want me to do? I've got my website in the link signature in there. And then we tell them to reach out to us on Facebook. Reach out to me directly on LinkedIn, and then you can follow me directly on Twitter, that's a different Twitter address than I gave before. So maybe here's some additional ideas. Maybe you want to get people to join your email list. So from your website, if you've got a box where people can type in their name, type in their email, and join your email list, tell me to do that. Give me the link to your website. If you want to have me download maybe a white paper that you've created, give a link to that landing page and tell me to click on that. If you've got like a checklist or a survey or a self-assessment deal or kind of an audit thing that you want to have me go through, we have those too. Give me the link for that and tell me to click on the link and go there for a 27-question checklist. All those things that you want to do as a marketing professional for your company, this is a great opportunity to do it, because every single person that joins your new community is ideally a prospect, which is what we're talking about from the beginning. So knowing that these are prospects, this is still part of your marketing. So get them to do something. Get them to go and join your email list, or join, download a white paper, or if you've got a Facebook group, which actually someone asked a question a moment ago about starting a Google Plus group. So I'll tie your answer in here. If you've got a Facebook group or a Google Plus group, and you want to maybe have them join that community, you can give them the link to that and have them join your other community. Who asked that question? That was Steve. Should I have a group on Google Plus? So you can have a group on Google Plus. I recommend it being the same name. So, for instance, ours is Social Media Mastery for Business Leaders. Have the same group name on Google Plus so that you've got two communities and it's not confusing. Because some people are more active on Google Plus than LinkedIn. Some people are more active on LinkedIn than Facebook. Some people are more active on Facebook than Google Plus. So I recommend cover the sphere and have multiple communities on all three. But I'd recommend starting with LinkedIn, because that's where probably most people's audiences are going to be. Let's see here. Rearrange my screen here. Pardon me for 1 second. All right, so templates. So once you've done your templates, you want to start a discussion. So by doing the discussions, I'll show you that. You don't want to invite a whole bunch of people to your group because you've just started it, and then I get to your group, I'm one of the first few members, and there's no discussions. There's no activity going on. There's nothing happening, because that's boring. So before you send invitations for people to join your group, and I'll show you that too. I know we're running low on time, but I'll show you how to send invitations. I recommend starting 3 discussions. So at least there's some conversations happening. So if I'm the first or second or third or fourth or fifth member to your brand new group, at least there's conversations happening. So let me back up to that one. So introduce yourself here. That's a great first discussion to have. This just allows people to share a little bit about who they are and what they do. So what you want to do is in the description, take a moment to introduce yourself to the other members of this group. So when you're creating your first discussions, sometimes I overlook this fact because maybe you're not familiar, it's just right there. You put your cursor right there in that little box that says start a discussion, and then you start a discussion. So once you've got your title there, then you put your your description there. And again, if it's introduce yourself here, then tell me why you want me to introduce myself. Tell me to keep it short. Tell me to, tell me who you are and what you do and how you benefit others. That's always a good way. And if you want to put a link, you can always put a link right in there, and then it will actually populate as well. So if for any reason you need to add a link, you can put a link in the description. Post your Twitter link. That was another discussion that we started. And then what was the other one? The other one I think was a Facebook page. So if you've got a Facebook page, that was the other discussion that we started. I think it's right here. Yep. Facebook business page exchange. Let's follow each other's business on Facebook. So why even do that? It's just for engagement. It's just to give people something to start to do. One of the things we've done in other groups is, hey, do you have a company profile page on LinkedIn? We'll post that here, and let's share everybody's company profile page and follow each other's company on LinkedIn. So it's an activity. So one of the other discussions you want to make sure that you start is something engaging around, this community. So let's say, for instance, here, this being social media, I might want to start a discussion on, gosh, there's 1,000 things to start it on. It could be, why do you choose LinkedIn over, well, here's a better question. Is it better to be on LinkedIn or Google Plus for a catering company? That's a good discussion to start. Maybe you've got some tips on the blog on your website, and you say, hey, what are 5 tips for, successful social media strategy? And then have that be a discussion. Then you can have a link that goes to your blog and say, hey, if you want, to know my 5 tips, here they are in this link, and then it will take them to your blog. So start a discussion or two around your topic, around your theme, around why the audience is there, and that will help bring engagement. So let's see. I want to make sure we hit, sending invitations. I'll make sure I do that as well. So here's some ideas. And by the way, you're going to get this in the recording, so you don't have to feel like you need to type it all out. But, what is your LinkedIn company page? That's a good discussion. What is your Twitter handle? What is your Facebook business page? Those are good initial conversation starters. It engages, something engages your audience on the topic. Begin a conversation that asks a compelling question. Those are the good ones. And I always try to keep it relevant. So, what's relevant right now is maybe the Super Bowl. So how can you tie in the Super Bowl or achievement or championship around the Super Bowl and around your product or service? We're coming up on Valentine's Day, so maybe something around love. You want to tie that in. So always have discussions and blogs, for that matter, relevant around what's going on. So let's see. So invite your contacts. So how do you send invitations to join your group? That is a good question. That was my question. Hit manage, and then it will take you to that page that you've seen before that had the templates on it and several other things. And one of the link options is going to be send invitations. So once you get to that page, and we're getting really slow internet all of a sudden. Sorry about that, guys. But one of the options is going to be send invitations. And then you'll just click that link. You'll see it right there on the left. So when you, let's see, and then send announcement, I'll talk about that in a second. But send invitations basically is just going to let you choose from people in your network. So if you've got 500 people in your network, or 50 people in your network, or 5,000 people in your network, it's only going to let you choose the people inside of your network. One other thing here is send an announcement. So I'll go ahead and click on that. So I like to send an announcement once a month. That's, not too frequent and not frequent enough, LinkedIn will limit you to weekly announcements. So if I send an announcement right now to my 16,753 members, and I said tomorrow, oh, I have something else I want to send to my group, and I go in here and I go to send an announcement, it's going to say I'm going to have to wait. It's going to tell me to wait a week before I can send another announcement. So just be aware of that so you can plan accordingly, which is good because I've unjoined some groups where I got announcements that seemed like, I don't know, 10 times a month before LinkedIn started limiting that. So you can say whatever you want to say. I mean, this is one of the huge benefits of having your own community group is, once you build up your group, I can send one announcement and LinkedIn will send it out for me automatically, kind of like an email campaign. And it's going to go to their LinkedIn inbox. It's going to go to their main, sorry, it's not going to go to their LinkedIn inbox, I'm sorry. It's going to go to their main email, which is great, and then it's going to show up as a discussion in the group. So that's what's going to happen when you send an announcement. So, with that, it's a marketing opportunity there. So maybe you've got, I don't know, maybe you got some new news going on with your company. You've got something new that's happening. You don't want it to be salesy. We're really always careful to have everything be educational, keep it resourceful, keep it informative. Keep it healthy. And but if you want to have a push to say maybe you're going to do a webinar, you can, that's educational. So you say, hey, we're doing a webinar on, January 25th at this time. Here's what the topic is going to be about, and boom, you send it out to everybody in your community. One other thing I want to show you real quick is this little I button right there. I'm assuming I stands for information. They never really said. So you've got settings, statistics, group profile. We'll probably do a whole either email series or a webinar on the statistics, but I'll just touch on this super quick. But this lets you know, what the heck is going on in your group, and anybody can see this. So this isn't just for the owner, but demographics of the group, how it's growing, what kind of activity is happening in the group. These are all different tabs right there under information. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute everyone, and if you've got questions, I think I've unmuted everyone. If anyone has any questions, you can go ahead and speak up and ask, or type it into the chat box. Either way. I have one that's been emailed to me. So we'll take a few minutes now to answer any questions. So the question I've got is, how often should I post? Carl. Thank you, Carl. How often should you post? I'm assuming you probably mean a discussion. So I would recommend weekly. Post something every week. In the very, very beginning, make sure that you've got, again, like we said, 3 different discussions happening, at least, maybe 3 or 4. But beyond that, just post every week or so. And then one of the things that, just to tack onto that question is, what should you post? So I would keep things around, obviously, the topic of your group. So if you've got, if you're, again, a caterer, then maybe you want to talk about the benefits of having the right environment for a business gathering, or you want to talk about, how to have the proper catering events for, a business environment or whatever. There's, no matter what you do, you could sell trash bags for a living, I don't care. There's always something that's going to be helpful that I don't know. If I'm a prospect, I don't know. So what can you teach me? What can you inform me? what's a discussion topic that you can throw up there that would make me think, oh, I hadn't thought about that. It could be not confrontational, but it could be, something that maybe tries to speak to the other side, be a devil's advocate or something like that in a discussion. That'll get things going. And I'll tell you in advance now, sometimes it takes a little while to get the group conversation going. So I know we've had instances where no one was commenting or posting or anything in the group for the first 3 weeks. So it just seemed like it was just dead air other than us. And then you get somebody that will comment, and then you'll get somebody that will post their own discussion. And then when someone does, by all means, please respond when someone posts a discussion in your group that's not you. So, the thing that I hate to see is you start a new group and you're trying to get it to grow, and then some brave soul starts a discussion and you don't even respond. Or someone comments on your discussion and you don't respond to that comment. That's terrible. It's all about engagement. And again, these are ideally your prospects. So, are there any other questions? Making sure all my audio is still working. I don't have any other questions on my end, and so let me leave you with this. You've got all these different topics that we've been speaking on regarding LinkedIn and how to get more engagement, how to get more audience attention, how to position yourself as the expert better, all these different topics that we've been talking about. So let us hear from you what other topics you would like to hear. So we're always interested in knowing more about what you want to hear. So everyone should have our email address, but mine personally is sjones, J-O-N-E-S, excuse me, S as in Stephen, S Jones, at LinkedInsights, LinkedInsighte.com. So feel free to shoot me an email and say, hey, Stephen, I'd like to know more about this topic. I'd like to know more about that. So we want to make sure that we're hearing from you on other topics that you would like to hear, either as part of the weekly email campaign or the monthly webinar. So that's it. So hope this was helpful, and go build your group. As you have questions, if you're a subscriber, you can email us questions that you're having, and we will respond to you, and we will help you build your group. So thank you, guys. Have a fantastic day, and you are now in the know.